wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, on to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG Prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R, another live stream video for you guys. So we don't got just a normal live stream today. But before we get into that, let's always remember, and hold up. Always remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media network out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency, because you could get wrecked. All right, now that we got that out the way, we're going to be doing an AMA today with the Titanium Finance co-founder and a partner as well. We're going to get into some details and dig deep and show you what this is all about. We already did a video previously going through, some of the basic things and fundamentals that are pretty bullish that, in my honest opinion, and got me excited. So it takes a lot to get me to wake up in the morning to get excited about something. So let's go ahead and bring on stage. We're going to bring in two people here. I got Josh. How you doing, Josh? Co-founder from Titanium Finance. And then we're going to bring on board. Well, I'm gonna call you. It's Ryan, but we're gonna call you by your first name. But how do you say the name? I asked you earlier, and I was like, I don't want to mess it up.
Oh,
it's
yeah, you can just say RSKG. My first initial, middle initial, and my last name.
You got the coolest. I don't even know what you call that. Like a virtual emoji character. I need to get me one of those. How do I make that?
Yeah, it's just a virtual avatar that you can download on we have a client connection through our partner network called Animes. You can use rigged 3D models to connect to your webcam, and this is just me on my webcam and connected to a 3D model with an animated background, and I customized the hat to have the base logo and some other stuff on here, but yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I know we got Josh, co-founder from Titanium Finance, and then real quick before we get into the meat and the cheese of everything going on behind the scenes, what is your what's your position here as far as the group and the partnership, or are you marketing? What are you doing in the background here with them?
Yeah, I'm a founder at The Agency, which is a global marketing agency that assists in filling the gaps for businesses and brands launching on chain. And I also am a global coordinator for the Based Creators, which is a cultural movement to bring creators and builders to come and create on the Based blockchain.
Okay, so you got a whole system from what we talked about that's with onboarding over to Base, which Base is huge. I mean, I think the greatest opportunities to onboard users very easily is one, Solana. They made it very easy, but Base, because Coinbase, right? So I'm a pretty big Base fan. I'm getting more into DeFi there on a daily basis, to be honest, more and more. But let's get into Titanium Finance. Josh, where do you want to start here? Because a platform like this doesn't just come from nowhere. Kind of what's your background and how did you get into designing this, and we can get into what it's all about.
Yeah, so back in 2023, I ran a protocol called AVI, This is sort of the second iteration of that, coming into 2025, and essentially we've restructured everything and created made it regulated, which is a big part of it. It's a regulated hedge fund, and yeah, there's a lot to it. So I'll have to. There's no exact like pitch that I can instantly give, but we'll have to really delve deep into it, because there's a lot of different parts.
So let's start with the regulation part too, because I know there's some things that like you guys are a hedge, like referred to as a crypto hedge fund, but with real world assets. Kind of explain how you tied those things in, because I think a lot of the people that have been in DeFi with me, it's the Wild West, right? You get smart contracts, they get audited by like certain audit companies, and regardless if the code's good, the tokenomics aren't good, they fail, Ponzonomics and whatnot. How are you different, and how did you implement like the hedge fund? And then I guess you have some kind of licensing going on here too, because I think these are certain trust factors that are different that I've never seen in DeFi. If you kind of want to talk about that.
Yeah. So we're regulated as a hedge fund in the BVI as an SPC, and what that means is our financials are audited every 6 months. And what this means is that they check us for solvency. They check that we're producing the right data in our reports. Basically, what we do is we do a report each month for investors of the hedge funds. So yeah, they check that everything matches up. They check that we're running this as a proper operation, and just abiding by BVI law. That's essentially the rundown of it. And it's a lot different, because I get this question like, is it just set up as a business in the BVI? Something like that, a legal structure like that is just like a simple creation of a LLC or an incorporation, and they don't check anything. It's not actual regulation. That's just setting up a business. So it's a lot different being actually regulated as a hedge fund. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've never seen before. I see like audits, like Certic audit, and people are like, "Oh, this should," but like Certic even is no longer at the top of the food chain. There's a lot of other ones that came out as far as security. But another thing that draws attention in DeFi too that I was looking at, and is the APR. So you guys have like a goal that you guys want to hit on a month-to-month basis for your investors, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 5 to 15% is the monthly goal target, right?
Correct.
Kind of explain that and how it ties in with what kind of real world assets would they be earning from, and how would you plan to hit these goals, and what would be the deal there?
Yeah, so small correction. The initial hedge fund does not invest in RWAs. The hedge fund is our first product, which is the multi-strategy investment fund, targeting 5 to 15% per month. And the RWA aspect and the RWA products are something that we've got lined up for in our roadmap. So that would be like investing into real estate, investing into different company stocks or something like that. And this is a lot more of a slow APR, like you can imagine. Like a real estate investment is not going to be able to yield 5 to 15% per month. So just quick correction there. But in terms of the hedge fund, we're primarily partnered with DexFi for our yield. And DexFi has been running their bonds for about 6 months, their bonds program, and they've been sitting at 70% to 100% APR, which is really, really good and like close to what we're targeting. On from that, we do our own trading, and we do our own hyperliquid vaults, which we try to use to even further increase the APR. So yeah, it's not just kind of like a DexFi one-to-one. We do our own trading and things like that as well.
Yeah, we got some fans here of AJ over at DexFi, and they are they have been sponsoring my channel for several months now. So shout out to dexfi.com/bonds, where real yield is being produced, which I say real yield is king, right? Everything in decentralized finance across the board is always utilized Ponzonomics. So when you have real yield being transitioning into DeFi where people are earning APR, I think they've set, kind of a new industry standard with that. And I'm glad you guys are partnered, because that just puts a whole lot more communities combined. There's going to be more people joining, but what would be the expectations of somebody when this launches? Like, when is it going to launch? And I believe it's about $50, right? Because normally, if you want to invest in this style of investment in the real world, you would have to be an accredited investor, which means you got ties to a lot of money, people, so you get to get in. But here it's like a $50 minimum, and you have access to these investments.
Correct. Yeah. Some of what we're doing with the hedge fund is we're then basically it's a big part of our total goal and our overall like mission as a project is to basically provide access to these top tier funds. Like you can think of something like investing in Paradigm or a fund like that, where you do have to have $100,000 plus as a minimum deposit and have a multi-million-dollar net worth before you can even have a chance of investing in the top crypto funds. So a big part of what we're doing overall is we're kind of bridging the gap or acting like the middleman or the feeder fund, where we take capital from retail investors at a $50 minimum, and then we invest it into top funds. So that's a big mission for a lot of our products that is planned. With our initial product with the multi-strategy investment fund, since we're working with DexFi for a lot of that, it's not so much the case for this initial product, but for our further products, there's going to be a lot of that, like invest into, for example, Paradigm or some other top fund like RE7 Capital, and with a $50 minimum, which has never been possible before. So
yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That gives an opportunity for people that, whether they got big bags, small bags, to get in. Even if you're a big investor in crypto, you might not even, some people are like 100,000, 50,000. That's still big. Still wouldn't be enough in the real world. But wanted to ask Ryan over here. Don't want him sitting in the corner kind of what his thoughts are, with the strategy here, and what do you have any investment? Like, I know you're doing a lot of the onboarding and a lot of different marketing aspects, but what would you have to add on to what we talked about so far?
I would say that from our position of the agency helping to launch and to be supporting Titanium Finance and positioning globally, how Titanium Finance can be integrating and partnering throughout the network that we're growing ourselves. I'd say that is kind of the strategy that we're going with, is bringing in more integration partners, more partnerships, more ways for Titanium to kind of spread its reach around the globe. So we're already kind of working with Josh and Titanium Finance at establishing Titanium as a leader in the financial education sector. We're getting into universities, into city centers with our local and regional chapters that Titanium is leading right now in Australia and Singapore with us, and we'll be expanding all of the kind of financial education opportunities throughout our network. And really, like, this ties into just our global mission to bring the world on chain in a big way. So I feel like just Titanium being, in my opinion, the first through the door to come on chain in terms of Wall Street hedge funds, massive financial institutions that really have the ability to make things change in the world of finance. This is just kind of the beginning of what's going to be possible for bringing the world on chain in a very big way, with a coordinated effort that, there's partnerships and integrations across the network that are creating really the new on-chain internet. And it's just kind of a force that's going to happen. It's like meant to happen, and it's kind of unstoppable. So it's almost like, as much as Titanium can be inserted into that equation, that is our goal, to just be positioning Titanium in any kind of way that we can to make that happen.
Yeah, I've been in crypto a long time, and I was thinking about this the other day, where when I first got in, the overall market cap was a little bit under $55 billion when I first got into crypto. And I remember thinking, like, hey, when Wall Street comes and big money comes, like, this is going to be completely different. And that was when Bitcoin was like $250, and it was very low market caps across the board. And now I see all this money here, and people are finally starting to realize things that I wanted them to realize that I knew about years ago, when it comes to privacy, when it comes to this and that. But now we're here in the perfect moment for Titanium Finance to take advantage of being a first mover in a position to bring that money that should be on chain, right? Because in the next 5 years, there's going to be more and more happening. I think everything is going to evolve on the blockchain. Like, imagine if you can vote for your Congress, vote for the governor of your state through blockchain. You wouldn't have to worry about fraud or anything like that, or everything would be perfect, because blockchain is practically the most transparent thing out there. But definitely all that money that institutional investors and all that good stuff, you guys are in a position to bring this type of hedge fund to the table. And that's why I'm excited, which is leading me to I think you guys are having the event as far as the launch coming up here shortly, right? I believe.
Yeah, it's early December, so we haven't put out a actual date yet, but it will be in early December. The launch and the TGE coming up. Yeah, and the way that the just to add on to what Ryan was saying, with the financial education. So the way that this works from Titanium side is that we're leading the Base Creators Australian chapter. So And we're also leading our own financial education platform. So basically, the goal is that we're going to different universities and different real life events to onboard people to both of these. And basically, essentially, the goal is, and the way this works as a onboarding arm for Titanium is that basically, first of all, we're offering free value, we're offering education, and then what we're doing is we're bringing these members in as a community. We have like a premium subscription service for the education side of everything. So this is for people who are new to crypto. They want to get into crypto and want essentially guidance throughout crypto, because when you're new to crypto, you're 100% going to run into some sort of like scam coin or scam exchange, or something's going to happen where there's a confusion or something like that. So it's a really good thing to just have someone with you there to guide you. And yeah, and this is the education side. And then through the education side, we introduce everyone to base and to the wider Titanium ecosystem. So hope that makes sense as how sort of like an onboarding system for us. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, people are going to be expecting to kind of know where to go, and I think I shared it on the last video. You guys are pretty active on Discord, right?
Yeah.
And is there like still a whitelist happening there where you can go? How does that work?
Yes. So for our launch, for our TGE, the way that it's working is that there's a dashboard where everyone needs to go to complete tasks and get selected for the whitelist to the token sale. So yeah, that URL is wl.titanium.finance, and it's a full kind of point system where you go in there, complete the tasks, and we'll be handing out whitelists very, very shortly in the lead up to our launch.
Yeah, in the description of the video too on YouTube, anybody that's interested to join, I put a link to the Discord as well. 'Cause I think the most common question would be like, for a whitelist, what would you say would be the advantage of somebody just saying, I'll just wait till it launches? Like, what would you say is like the main advantage to being whitelisted, opposed to just saying I might just wait, because
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that will be skeptical and just kind of hold off.
no, 100%. And you do, like, as an investor, you do have to make that decision. The way to sort of calculate that is to look at the whitelisted sale valuation compared to what you think the market cap will be on launch. So if you see that the whitelisted valuation is something you think will be higher than the initial market cap on launch, then it's better to wait. But if you think that this is a sale at a well undervalued price or valuation, then it's the best place to get in early. That's basically how it functions. Yeah.
Okay, so going into the Discord, that's where you're going to get whitelisted. And then I think also in the description too, I have Twitter. Do you guys do Telegram or anything like that?
No, we don't do Telegram. We didn't want to have like two chats, like where everyone, like we just want one chat where everyone's all together. So it's just all on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I got to get back into the groove of Discord because I've been mostly Telegram for a while. Like I did Discord for a long time, and then I had
Yeah.
Telegram. But Telegram's annoying with scammers and all that. So you need
Yeah, that's
admins.
my
and all that.
that's my thing. Like I just personally kind of hate Telegram. So yeah, I just kept everything over to Discord, which might be sort of a bad marketing decision, but much less of a headache.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna bring up the site too.
Yeah.
That way if do you think anything you want to run through on the website? Because I know there's a few things that are like coming soon. I don't know if they're
Hmm.
gonna come as soon as the launch happens.
Hmm.
Like with your multi-strategy investment fund, I see that there's like the TIUSD,
Hmm.
which is a stable coin. Is that all going to be available at launch, like the stable token? And how does the stable token work exactly?
Yeah, so first week of launch is the release of the multi-strategy investment fund. So that's where everything starts, like on TGE, and a few days post launch is when the hedge fund comes out. These other products are for then down the road. So immediately after the hedge fund is released, we immediately start developing these other products, which is the RWA offerings, the stable coin, on-chain financial services, and all of this is sort of for our goal of kind of building this kind of all-in-one investment platform for crypto investors. Because the way that we see it is that you come into crypto or something like DeFi, and it's really complicated if you want to run your own DeFi pools or do your own trading. So we want to be like this kind of like layer on top of crypto where you were just able to find an investment that works for you and have us manage it. That's kind of the sort of narrative, or the sort of goal for the overall platform, is just to be this like all-in-one investment service for crypto.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I like the differences of what you get from the norm. And I think for me personally, I'm looking for everything that's different. I think with DexFi and what they do, they have a DApp that would be considered like high risk, high reward, called Plasm, and they're feeding that with real yield. And that's like a change in things, right? So when it comes to this is like a difference, not like a copycat of anything that you see out there or anything that I know of, to be honest. And it's just well put together. It's like professional, right? That's how things are going. Not everything's gonna have just like a UI where everyone just copy and paste the UI and copy and paste on the smart contract and put piece it together. But I did notice there's lending and borrowing as well. So you're gonna have that's a certain aspect, which how would that be applied to the strategy you have here? Because it's called the multi-strategy investment fund, right? Is what you
Yeah.
call this part? So how
Yeah.
does lending incorporate into this exactly?
So the lending and borrowing platform is for our TI token. So the way this functions is that people can put up their TI token as collateral for a percentage in stables. And what this lets people do is it lets people maintain exposure to TI without selling, and then and be able to convert into stables without selling. So does that make sense? Like and then what you can do from that point is you can hold on to the stables while maintaining that exposure to TI. If TI falls in price, you can just hold on to the stables. If TI rises in price, you can trade back in your collateral. Obviously, this isn't able to be done with a 100% collateral ratio. Like you're not going to be able to trade your TI tokens for 100% in stables lending. The number is likely going to be around 60% for that product. But yeah, it's a way to quickly get access to some stables without having to sell your TI. And overall, this helps the ecosystem in terms of less selling pressure, which is always great.
And the main token, because this is the stable token would be the TIUSD, right? That's implemented, but the main token is TI token, right?
Yeah,
Which is based off the flywheel of everything that's happening. That token is essentially going to have a ton of money that's being compounded that turns into a form of like buy pressure, right?
Yeah,
Towards the token.
Correct. I did want to get really deep into this because this is the main aspect of the TI token, especially on launch. So what we've made is a flywheel that we believe is more powerful than any other token system in crypto, provided that we're able to sustain high yield through the multi-strategy investment fund. So the way that this works is that instead of dedicating fees or something like that to the token as buyback, instead the multi-strategy investment fund invest 10% of its assets under management. So you can imagine if there's like in terms of people depositing into the multi-strategy investment fund, how the assets under management is calculated is the amount that's deposited and the amount we're able to make on top of the yield we're paying out. So and this assets under management is then 10% of that in the hedge fund is then invested back into the TI token. So you can imagine with $1 million of assets under management, that's $100,000 buy pressure directly for the TI token. So as a sort of overview, or as a sort of like 30,000 foot view, this means that the TI token is one of our investments in the hedge fund, and continually is invested into by the hedge fund in small portions as the assets under management grows in the hedge fund.
And the flywheel, as far as the purchasing power, when that compounds and becomes more and more money that's under management, right? Assets under management. Where do those tokens go? Is it like, are they being bought and burned, or are they put into a treasury? Where are you directing them?
So as soon as they're bought by the hedge fund, they're then held as an investment for the hedge fund. So it's kind of like a system. I'm not sure. I'm sure you're familiar with elephant money. They kind of had a system where they had like a I think it was called Bertha, where they bought up their own token But the difference is with elephant money is they didn't have real yield, if that makes sense.
Oh no, I know all about Big Bertha and the
Yeah, I
hype
thought
behind
you,
it.
thought you would.
It worked, right? We saw it in real time. Gradually elevate the token up and to the right. But like you said, there was no real yield. So Bank Teller was actively looking to invest money to get real yield and just
Mhm.
quite never found it. So the whole thing just, it was a house of cards, right? But we
Yeah.
saw how Bertha was feeding the token and increasing the price. So by design, I know that works to pump a token gradually, up and to the right as Bertha, as we know as Bertha, right? But I know from personally speaking to people that he was connecting with, he was desperately trying to find real yield, which he failed to do, which you're plugging in the gaps there, and they're going to have, DEX5, for example, and probably, do you have any other partnerships out there that you're working with for other types of real yield on crypto, or just DEX5 right now?
We're working with a few private hyperliquid vaults that have been producing really, really well, even through 10/10, which was the huge crypto liquidation event. So yeah, we're working with a few over there that have been hitting 10 to 20% per month. And that's really good as well, because Hyperliquid is on chain, so that's also trackable by investors, as well as the DexFi yield. So yeah, that's the main other investment we have on launch. But the hedge fund as an asset manager is constantly rebalancing and moving and moving to where it thinks the best yield and the safest yield is going to be.
Interesting. And I have right now pretty much we're in the docs just looking at the tokenomics here. So total supply ever is only going to be 1 billion, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So breaking it down here, 33% it's going to be in liquidity, 32% pre-sale, 12% team, 5% marketing, 5% advisors, 5% partnerships, and 8% airdrop rewards. So the tokens, I'm trying to see which percentage would go up as far as the tokens that are bought and burned. Is that going to go back into the which category? Because if you're buying tokens, is it going to be set off and have a new number metric system that it's going to be based off? Like now it owns 1%. Like what are you going to call that where the money gets bought up? Is it going to be called something else?
Yeah, so that will be known as the hedge fund holdings, essentially. So the
Okay.
hedge fund holdings, it constantly buys new TI tokens as the assets under management rises. Yeah, I don't know if I explained it 100% well. I think we talked about it before, so it makes sense to you, right? That it like, for example, $1 million in AUM is $100,000 invested into the TI token. $10 million in AUM is $1 million invested into the TI token.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we don't make that investment all at once, just like a huge green candle. We do that through market makers, so it's used to consistently provide buy pressure to the token. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing too, because everyone's always like, marketing. I know you're working with Ryan for marketing, networking, partnering, but one thing I saw here was refer to earn,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's going to be a big player, obviously, in onboarding new users, right? You're going to get people that are on YouTube. They're going to jump all over it, Twitter, kind of explain the refer to earn system and how that's structured, because this is going to be a big part. I mean, the ongoing marketing you'll get from people that are interested in this, it's going to be, some might talk about it daily, promote it weekly. It's really going to have a huge impact. So how are they incentivized to refer and earn at this point? Does
100%.
that start right away at launch as well?
Yeah, it will. As soon as the hedge fund is released post-launch, which is during the first week, the referral system goes live, and the referral system is purely dedicated for the hedge fund. So essentially, there's a 10% tax on deposits into the hedge funds, and that immediately goes to the referrer.
Okay, so you're saying 10%. So, breaking it down, the example is John refers Matthew. All right, Matthew deposits 1,000. He earns 100 USDC. So does that working through like a claim button, or is it like automatically done through the smart contract to pay to your wallet when that happens, or is it like in the UI?
Yeah, we have a referral system in the UI, which will be which is claim referral reward. So they just rack up in your dashboard as you refer more and more people, and then you can claim them whenever you want.
So you're telling me I bring in $1 million, I get $100,000 in USDC?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing right there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's pretty nice, but that's definitely gonna get a lot of people excited, because like I said, it's the best marketing. Everyone has a referral system, even Amazon. So that's how you bring more, eyes and attention when you have a referral program. I was glad that you guys were able to implement that, and yeah, that's exciting. I'm definitely going to be all over that. 10%. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who could resist that? So, I don't know if I missed anything as far as like the roadmap, because we're going to be coming up here soon at launch. So I'm assuming the launch is the phase 1. So it hasn't been addressed yet, but it will be soon. Be in Discord. Whitelist sale, TGE. Do you have any information on TGE? And then the hedge fund's going to launch. So that should all happen in this month, or you're looking at the raised and launch like early 2026. What are you thinking?
No, the way that the launch works and the whitelisted sale is it immediately goes into TGE. So there's the sale, and then as soon as the sale closes, that's TGE. That's immediately starts. So there's no gap in between the sale and TGE.
Okay, I get what you're saying. And then as far as the platform, right? And I think I'd asked you, that's going to be this month though, for sure. You're just not sure when, or are we thinking like early 2026?
Yeah, the in terms of the hedge funds, will definitely be December. And then the further products will variable, but we're in terms of how we want to ship them, we want to be shipping at least one every few weeks, and just having this constant catalyst of releasing new products and growing, as well as growing the current products. So that's a really important part of how we want to be running this is really fast releases, not not waiting around for months without a new release. So yeah.
Okay.
And we'll be
All right,
helping a lot
perfect.
from our side with that too. With, like I said earlier, the positioning and the partnerships and the integrations and just running biz dev and anything that we can do to amplify that in every way.
Yeah.
And Ryan, as far as like the organization that you're with, how do they follow? How would they go and follow you? Like, do you have a different Discord, Telegram, Twitter, to kind of access you? And can we go to you for information, or is it all going to be handled in the same Discord channel?
I would say following Titanium Finance is going to be the best way that you can tap into what we're doing in many ways, just because we're partnered on such a high level that you will see us because we're going to be working together in such a large way. But discord.thecreators.com for our Discord. That's where you're going to also be seeing the Based Creators chapters for Australia and Singapore that Titanium is going to be managing and helping to run, and we're going to be bringing a lot of creators and volunteers to help create educational materials across the entire network. And that's also going to be just a really good way of getting viral with Titanium Finance and, getting the message of financial education and confidence in your finances out to the masses. So, between that on our Discord and the agency VC on X, you can tap in there, but you're definitely going to see a lot of us around if you just follow Titanium.
Perfect. I guess I was going to say too, and I'm not going in any order of operation here, but I think it's important because everyone's going to be like, okay, there's a flywheel, the token. I think the most exciting aspect of the thing for me is getting the whitelist position so I can get access to the TI token, which the entire system is built like a flywheel to help that price continue to have buy pressure. But then how often outside of that you're getting paid yield payouts. So they're happening bi-weekly, kind of like people do in the real world, and they get a check every 2 weeks, on a Friday, for staked bond tokens. So for these yield payouts, it says directly in USDC, you can claim them anytime. With the bonds that you're talking about, the staked bonds, is that anything in relation to TI token? Are you staking TI token for that, or is that something? How is that structured? Like, what's the bond?
Yeah, so the way that essentially they're two different products. So you purchase bonds to then have a direct stake in the hedge fund, and that adds to the AUM of the hedge fund. And the token is kind of this third layer that receives benefits from the growth of the hedge fund, but is not actually part of the hedge fund itself. So you can't stake in the hedge fund and get yield with the token. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more like an overall ecosystem token in terms of TI. Yeah.
Okay. So those are going to be bi-weekly USDC, and then the compounding. Because like I never use like auto compounders because I use a hardware wallet, but like you can still set that with the hardware wallet, or you have like, I'm not sure how that works because with the smart contracts, like I've never automated anything with auto compound because I always have to make sure I accept the transaction. So I always just do it on my own. But tell me about the auto compound feature. So on that weekly payout, it just goes back in and then you can keep that. Or like, do you even have a strategy that you're going to put together for people? Because I know sometimes in certain flywheels, they'll go, well, if you get $1,000, the best way for the ecosystem for everyone is to collectively, take 50% profit, compound 50%. Or in this case, it's just like, doesn't matter to you. It's like, do your own thing. Is there any
Yeah.
suggestions or kind of how you feel about that?
Well, in comparison to typical DeFi protocols, like I think you're talking about, like Ohm or something like that, like Ohm style protocols. Um, this is different, wherein we don't mind what you do with your compounds, because it's real yield. So it's not like token emissions or something like that. So yeah, anything that you want to do, whatever strategy that the investor wants to make with their yield, is up to them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. Now, under here in the same category, I guess you could say with the investment fund fees,
hmm
everyone's is going to want to know, is it the deposit fees? I see 10% to deposit, right? And then your deposit would be credited at equal value in bonds minus 10%. And it's got a
hmm
different 25% profit fee. So kind of explain that in a nutshell, because I'm assuming it by design, it's not made to go in right away. You're gonna have to be in it for whatever time frame that is to recoup that 10%. So what does that time frame look like, and kind of explain the fees?
Yeah, so initially, once you've deposited, and been that 10% fee has been taken off you, that 10% fee obviously goes to your referrer, like we were talking about earlier. And since the deposit fee is quite large, usually in a typical hedge fund, this would be a huge deposit fee, but because our yield is targeting 5 to 15%, you're then recouping your deposit fee within likely less than a month. So and then you're in pure profit from that point onwards.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up that way. And plus, if you're somewhere in the range of the monthly profit prediction, or goal, should be
Mhm.
able to clear that. I want to say quickly, but definitely over time, which makes sense if you guys hit those goals, because 5 to 15% is pretty appealing, I would imagine, to a lot of people. Um, Other than that, is there any other parts here that we could take a look at, as far as like whether it's the roadmap or the tokenomics that you wanted me to cover with you? Because I think we covered quite a bit of like some of the core things, I would say, that wanted to hit during this AMA. But is there anything else you could think of?
Yeah, the one thing I did want to cover
Mhm.
is one of our big early products is the tailored opportunities. So the way this works is that each investor can, like in this product specifically, can have a call with a member of our team, and be able to basically say what their risk level is, what kind of profit they're trying to make, what kind of sectors they want to invest into, and we put together a custom fund for each investor, and then have like monthly calls for to update you on your investment. So this is more like a really like hands-on, like proper investment service, in like instead of just a deposit and earn type thing, which is our hedge fund initial product. So yeah, so it's sort of just like a it's like a thing of preference. Like, do you want it to be more hands-on? Do you want to speak to someone? Do you want to have your investment custom managed and customly invested into different sectors, or do you just want to deposit and earn? So we have kind of both sections or both products for different types of people.
Definitely. And I think that's something that'll make people a lot more comfortable too. Don't hesitate to get on a call with them. I don't know if you guys would use Google Meet, Zoom, whatever it is, but because people just want to be feel safe about it. I think that a lot of projects would get a lot more money too if they had, good customer service like that. Somebody can just walk you through the process, make you feel more comfortable. So you guys are definitely adding that value to pulling the big money, which the more money that comes into this, the flywheel is going to get crazy. So that's why like TI token, the way we've gone through it and explained to it, especially when you bring up Bertha, which is a prime example, seeing that applied to a system with real yield and, the way you guys are structured, I'm excited for that because that's going to be, people chase green candles, right? But, I think by design, it's meant to go up over time and it'll give people enough times to get entries as people are taking profits too as well. But it's always going to have that buy pressure to buy the dip along with everybody else and get those same opportunities. So I like the growth of that and, excited. Just whitelist spots are important, like we talked about. So again, just want to reiterate to the links in the description for Discord. Go in there and lock them in and get ready because it's gonna be a little early Christmas gift if you get a whitelist spot, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%. There's one more thing I wanna kind of go into, which is a lot of what we're doing with Ryan, which is in terms of for our marketing and for how we want to grow our investor base. Like I was talking about the real life event, but as well as that, what we're putting together is a content arm. So what this means is we're going to have constant content, like professionally produced content made by me, like YouTube videos and things like that, which feed into the financial education platform. And like you probably know, like content is like the number one way to really market yourself and really grow, instead of paying a list of KOLs every month or something like that. It's a lot more beneficial to create your own reputation and your own system that then feeds into the project. So that's a big part of what we're doing on that side, on our marketing side, and as well as the referral system and all of that type of thing. Like we've really set it up to be able to constantly grow and constantly grow the investor base and grow the overall community. So yeah,
that's going to be a big part of my commitment to the project is going, and I've done this for years, and it's a beautiful thing when you watch somebody enter a platform and where DeFi is popular, right? And you watch them go from a zero to a hero, and people watch your story and they watch how you've grown. They've got the education. They've seen you do it on camera, which that's what I do. I go on there, I go on camera. I'm like, I'm risking it for the biscuit. I'm going in, show the wallet, show the proof. And then next thing you know, 2 weeks goes by, you're moving up 3 weeks a month, and you're starting to get the ball rolling, and then more and more people jump on board, not only just new users but new creators, because they see what you're doing and it creates content for them as well. So it's going to be a part of my weekly journey is to market using my referral link and document my journey with Titanium Finance from A to Z, or from zero to a hero, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's going to snowball, and with the help of Ryan and his team, and I know I'm going to be working with them to get more exposure as well. I appreciate everything he does, brings to the table, and we got some, meetings together coming up, and they're going to help me as a creator, grow and expand. So excited for all this. I think everything ties in really well with both of you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're really excited to creators like yourself are going to be one of the ones that have the most alpha and the most opportunity in the new on-chain economy. I truly believe, because it's folks like yourself who are going to get the word out to the masses about the new economy. And you're also the most creative-minded people who are, able to think around, see around corners, to see what's coming next, and to kind of get in on that before maybe people who need it kind of laid out for them in a more kind of matter-of-fact way. So yeah, absolutely, man. And love to be able to support you and to kind of bring you into the Based Creators network of creators who are all coming on chain and supporting each other and finding a lot of opportunities in this network. So yeah, going to be some really great things we can do together, man.
Yeah, we'll grow together, snowball together, and like I said, it's just I've always said it. Your network is your net worth, right? You network with enough people. It's something that I've been wanting to work on. Is just like, how do I get into I got a lot of people that watch me from Ethereum and Sonic and Pulse Chain, and I'm working on Solana. How do I break into the content creators, so people on Base find me, and then all of a sudden I connect with Ryan, and you guys are launching on Base, and now I'm growing there because I want to be known for investing across all these chains, and spread the word and show people my content in each area. So I'm excited about that. And I've been on here for about an hour now. Don't want anyone to fall asleep on us, but is there any last words, anything that you guys want to mention before we log off here, that you want to deliver to your future investors, or anything like that you want to say?
No, I think we've covered everything really, really well from my side. Do you have anything, Ryan?
I would say just get ready for 12/12, December 12th coming up, and we've got the whitelist portal at wl.titanium.finance. If you've not already joined, definitely get yourself in there, start earning some points, and you can start getting yourself towards the whitelist. We're giving out 2 different tiers through that portal. We're going to be kind of having some white glove, higher tiers for maybe some whales that are proving themselves, and then we're going to have kind of the tier for the rest of the public who we're going to be getting in. So definitely come through if you're looking for to get into the first hedge fund launching on Base and on chain. And I definitely feel like that's going to be the beginning of a new movement, where you're going to see a lot more financial institutions coming on chain in 2026. And I think Titanium is going to be the first of a new wave.
I'm excited for that. Don't forget to send me the link, and I'll update that in the description here on YouTube, and post everything on X as well. And other than that, guys, I really appreciate you both being here. I always extend an invite, in the near future, especially after the launch, to come back and, have a different conversation on how everything turned out. And, I'm going to put like I said, I'm putting the link. I'll put it in the chat right here as well. And then I'm going to update it live while I'm here on YouTube, so that they can visit again, you said it was, and I have it here, WL.Titanium Finance is going to be in the description of the video for you guys to go and handle your business. Don't miss out. You heard them, 1212. It's on like Donkey Kong. Thank you guys all from being here today. Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment, retweet this, get them algorithm going. And till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. We'll be giving you some invite codes. So look in the comments here for a bunch of invite codes that you'll be able to use to get through that portal and to get into the whitelist, because it is invite only. So,
ooh, invite only. I'm gonna get the invite codes, and then I can share it with them on my Telegram or wherever I want.
Yep, we'll get you a bunch.
All right. So yeah, I got R2R. All the members out there in R2R. I will go reach out to me in the private group, and I'm going to be adding these two guys to the R2R group as well. And we can hand out, whatever there is that they're going to be gifting. And hey, that's why it pays to be a VIP member, right? So you guys get to have dibs on that and enjoy. And yeah, till next time, we'll do it again, guys. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, on to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dom a beast, or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off post chain, but I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild team.